Welcome back to another episode on Grouse 4x4. This time we are talking about how much this build cost me to get it to here. So to go from wagon to this stage, all the little bits and pieces. Obviously you don't have to do everything I did, but just so you know what everything roughly cost me in case you wanted to do it down the track. So before I rip into everything, guys, about the costing of it, I want you to guess inside your head what you think this cost me to do from start to finish of this series that we've just done, what you thought, and then at the end of the video when I reveal the price, let me know if you're close to how much you actually thought I spent. I think I spent a little bit more than I thought I spent. I know the biggest question is obviously going to be cutting it into a ute, which we will do the math on that first. So obviously cutting it into a ute, you're going to have the rear wall kit, and then you've got to build a tray. And as for the rear wall kit from CamFab, which they gave me a couple pointers, they messaged me the other day on Instagram just saying they enjoyed the video that I did on actually chopping it, and said with all the internal welding inside, cavity wax they reckon is the best thing. They said for the warping on the rear window or the heat distortion on the panels, sorry, got distracted with the heat distortion on the panels, they said the best way to go was to tack everything on, tack the internal supports on behind everything and all the windows and all that, then fully weld it out, and it helps it out better rather than doing it the way I did where I fully welded the outside and then done all the internal supports afterwards. So for the rear wall kit plus the window plus freight cost me $2,350. Just for that part alone, it's not horrible. That's pretty good. The next bit you got to worry about obviously is the tray. My tray, I've just used a local supplier. Prices will vary depending on where you are, on what parts you want to do on the tray. You could make it cheaper, you could make it more expensive. It's entirely up to you, but what I spent on the tray, including the tray floor, which I got cut and folded up by a professional team, so then that way I didn't have to do it and butcher it. That cost me about $2,135, give or take. So tray and rear wall, you're looking at $4,485. That's including lights and little bits and pieces. You could go cheaper on the tray if you really want. You could go more expensive. My tray floor being aluminium, so I didn't add too much weight. That was like $740 or something, just for the floor to be cut and folded for me. While we're on tray subject, I will throw in my spares / cooking box. So that was $320 from Bunnings. And then my fridge. So I brought an ARB Elements fridge months ago in preparation for this because I knew it was happening. It cost me $1,520 for an ARB 65 litre Elements fridge. So it's designed to be out in the elements. That's the whole point I got it, because I knew it was just going to be on a tray bed. I wasn't putting a canopy on this, and I didn't have any plan to do that. So as you could probably see, the car is dirty, so it's back from its first trip. First trip was okay, borderline not okay. We have problems to fix. Nothing like insanely major, and that you'll have to wait and watch the wheeling episodes of that to see what happened and what I need to fix. The other thing you've got to consider when obviously chopping the car and building a tray, you need to paint the car. So when I painted the car myself, these 3 items are sort of what you need to do to have the car as a car, driving as a ute, finished. Would be more expensive if you paid people to do it. Could be cheaper if you tried to go on the cheaper side of it. Could be more expensive. It just depends on the person really, but this is just a rough figure so you guys know where it's at. The paint cost me about $1,750 with a couple of little miscellaneous pieces here and there. I still have pretty close to half the amount of the paint left because I'd done a quick paint job. So futuristic, I wouldn't have to spend too much on it to repaint the entire thing again. If I did it properly, I'd just have to wait till the weather's nice because I had to rush it. Best to paint when it's warm. If you want more tips on painting, head back to the paint video. I did have a couple little things in there that I spoke about with painting that my friend Chris told me about. Here's a panel beater. A few little bits and pieces that you might enjoy. So if you want to find out any more information about these steps that I've all taken, there's like videos on every sort of individual build part of this. To make a hybrid front diff center, so 80 series diff housing, accepting a patrol center, then the patrol center also needs to accept 80 series gears. So you got to change the spider gears in that to have the 80 series splines on it. Then obviously I did long flipped radius arms at the same time, which I highly recommend. They were pretty awesome over the weekend, or the wheeling session we just did. And then have the diff straightened and all the bracing and stuff added to it. That came to a total of $3,250.50, give or take a little bit here and there, but that's what that entire front end has cost me. I already had an airlocked patrol center with ring gears, pinion, and all that sort of stuff on it. If you had to buy that, then obviously you're going to start to add more money. All of that stuff was from Kinsella's Customs. So if you are looking for any of that sort of stuff, he's the man to go to. While I was there, I also did a GU box conversion. All the bits were from Matt as well, except for the GU steering box. The GU steering box I picked up off Marketplace for $250, and then the conversion kit was like $400 or something around there, maybe a little bit more. Then miscellaneous bits and pieces, I just rounded it to about $900, because you need good drill bits to drill through the pitman arm. Like there's a lot of little miscellaneous things that you need for that. All right, we'll jump into the interior. So JRP, the gauge, I rounded that to about $200 for the gauge and the little fitting and whatnot. Regardless, I'd still spend that money in a heartbeat on JRP. I've used them 2 or 3 times now and cannot fault them. I've just come back from about 1,200 Ks for its first trip. All the vital signs that I need, I can see. The only reason I got a new one is because, me being silly, I broke the prong when I was pulling it out to paint the interior. So interior, I allowed about $300 roughly, maybe a little bit more, for your painting of your interior and stuff. It's a pretty basic job. It's just the hardest bit is getting the interior in and out. That is like the hardest thing. The interior is still not done. I don't have a floor or anything, but you don't really need a floor covering at the moment. I can deal without that. It's not the end of the world. Now, I got my door cards wrapped and my seats wrapped. You guys wouldn't have seen the footage for that yet. I got them with like 3 days before this trip. I do have footage of it, and we're going to overlay some here because it was actually pretty cool to watch the process of how Zach done it. So he lives up in Eastern Creek in Sydney. So if you do need to get anything inside your car done, we're going to put his Instagram up here. If you want to get any of that done, you can go check out his page, see what he does. You can flick him a message. It cost me $2,200 for the 2 front seats and both door cards. So he said about $1,600 for the seats and then about $300 each door card. The door cards are all new paneling, and then he's re-stitched everything. Watching the stitching on it, there's actually a lot of work that goes into it, like reupholstering your seats and your door cards and all that sort of stuff. And then he gave me all the little decal pieces that come off the original door card. I brought them home. I painted them the same black as I painted the dash. And then when I got the door cards back, I just had to fit everything back to the door card. It was pretty straightforward. The only thing I didn't paint was the door handle. I forgot to paint it. I didn't realize until I put the door card on. And I spoke to Zach about it anyway, and he goes, it's fine because you use that so often, you'll probably rub the paint off. Something to maybe do futuristic, maybe not, I don't know, see how I go. Good sort of ballpark on what this has pretty much cost me. I've come up with a figure and it was about $14,921, roughly. Pretty close to what I paid to have this driving around as a ute with all the upgrades. Like I said in the start of the video, you didn't have to do the front diff, you don't have to do the radius arms, you don't have to do the interior, you don't have to do all that stuff. I just thought while I was here, while I was getting the build going, it was time to bite the bullet and do it. Now that I've done all that, I don't really have too much to do. I've got maintenance things to do. Doing maintenance things and teething issues, that's not a problem because that's going to happen regardless on a four-wheel drive. These things that I did, this is just doing what I wanted to do to make the car stronger and better and perform better off-road, look nicer, feel comfier, and boy, did it turn out good. Well, I think that is about it that we have to worry about with costings of this video, the costings of this build, this little series that went on. We had like 12 parts, 10 or 12 parts or something, turning it from a wagon to a ute, building a hybrid front diff. So the hybrid front diff is like at the strength level where it's really, really hard to go any further unless I go put a giant diff in it. You know, go to the extreme. This would be extreme to some people, but for me, this is what I had to do. I've broken 2 front diffs, so I had had to do something to fix it. I didn't want to continue worrying about breaking front diffs all the time. I didn't want to get rid of my chromos and then have to buy more chromos and then have bits and pieces here and there. So I was just like, bite the bullet, do a patrol center. Talking absolute smack now. I think that pretty much sums up the costing of this car. Did it actually come close to what you think it cost me? Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I hope I didn't miss anything, but if I did, just put it down in the comments below. I'll put it down there and let you know, but I think that pretty much rounds up what I spent on it and how much I spent on it. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this build series, because this build series is about to end, because you're going to have 2 wheeling sessions coming very soon, and I'll give you a little hint. It didn't go to plan. There's a reason it's back in the shed. Catch you guys on the next one.